Mr. Olson of Texas.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes in support of his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of my amendment to shift funds in the NASA budget. I appreciate the work that Chairman Wolf and his colleagues have put into drafting this bill. I know how tough it must have been. We were elected to make tough decisions, to cut spending, and to put our fiscal house in order. In our nation's current fiscal situation, we must set clear and prudent guidelines on how our limited tax dollars are spent. I propose today that we set such limits within NASA to get better use out of our money. Climate research is currently being conducted in 16 different agencies, including NASA, and received over $35 billion through stimulus and last year's appropriations bills. Human spaceflight is conducted in exactly one agency, NASA. In this tight budget cycle, we must reduce duplicative spending and target our resources where they will be most beneficial. The 15 other agencies conducting climate research can pick up the slack while freeing up resources for NASA to make a truly unique contribution, maintaining U.S. dominance in human spaceflight. Accordingly, my amendment proposes to reallocate $517 million that could be spent on NASA science programs so that it will instead be available to maintain stable operations for human spaceflight. The amendment does not change the overall NASA funding level. It simply reallocates within the total. I understand the tough task this CR has been for our appropriators. It's never easy to tell people they must do more with less. NASA has been doing more with less for almost a decade, and that is why I'm offering this amendment. I appreciate this opportunity to discuss NASA priorities with Chairman Wolf and my colleagues. And I ask for Chairman Wolf's commitment to work with me going forward as we begin the appropriations process for fiscal year 2012 to ensure that we orient NASA away from duplicative climate research missions and back to its unique human spaceflight mission. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield to Chairman Wolf for the purpose of engaging a colloquy.
I thank the gentleman. It's my understanding the gentleman is withdrawing the amendment. I want to thank the gentleman for raising some critically important points about the value of NASA's human exploration program and the need to fully support it. And no one is a stronger supporter of NASA than the gentleman from Texas, except maybe Mr. Culberson, who's equally so supportive. I share his concern with ensuring that exploration is adequately funded and that NASA remains on a clear path to achieve the human spaceflight goals laid out in last year's authorization. I'll be happy to work together as close as we possibly can to finish FY 2011 and move forward into FY 2012 to maintain a robust human spaceflight program at NASA, just as Mr. Olson would like it to be. In doing so, I agree that it will be necessary to identify and eliminate duplicative, wasteful, or lower priority activities in NASA's science program, or any other NASA account for that matter, so we can remain on a sustainable overall budget. I look forward to working with the gentleman and our colleagues to support NASA and thank him for his continuing efforts in this area.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentleman's time is
Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady from Texas.